It was the right thing to do. But even with this positive news, the hard truth is that some of the jobs that have been lost in the auto industry and elsewhere won't be coming back. They're the casualties of a changing economy. In some cases, just increased productivity in the plants themselves means that some jobs aren't going to return. And that only underscores the importance of generating new businesses and new industries to replace the ones that we've lost. And of preparing our workers to fill the jobs they create. For even before this recession hit, we were faced with an economy that was simply not creating or sustaining enough new, well-paying jobs. So now is the time to change all that. What we face is far more than a passing crisis. This is a transformative moment. And in this moment we must do what other generations have done. It's not the time to shrink from the challenges we face or put off tough decisions. That's what Washington has done for decades, and it's exactly why I ran for president, to change that mindset. Now is the time to build a firmer, stronger foundation for growth that will not only withstand future economic storms. But that will help us thrive and compete in a global economy. To build that foundation, we have to slow the growth of healthcare costs that are driving us into debt. We're going to have to do that, and there's going to be a major debate over the next 3 weeks. And don't be fooled by folks trying to scare you, saying we can't change the healthcare system. We have no choice but to change the healthcare system, because right now it's broken for too many Americans. We're going to have to make tough choices necessary to bring down deficits. But don't let folks fool you. The best way to start bringing down deficits is to get control of our healthcare costs, which is why we need reform. Now is the time to create the jobs of the future by growing industries, including a new clean energy economy. And Jennifer Granholm has been all on top of this as the governor of Michigan. She is bring cleaning sick energy jobs right here to Michigan, and we've got to support her in that effort. I want Michigan to build windmills and wind turbines and solar panels and biofuel plants and energy-efficient light bulbs and weatherize all our because, Michigan, you know bad weather. So you can be all on top of weatherizing. You need to weatherize. I know about that in Chicago too. But we also have to ensure that we're educating and preparing our people for the new jobs of the 21st century. We've got to prepare our people with the skills they need to compete in this global economy. Time and again, when we placed our bet for the future on education. We have prospered as a result by tapping the incredible innovative and generative potential of a skilled American workforce. That's what happened when President Lincoln signed into law legislation creating the land-grant colleges. Which not only transformed higher education, but also our entire economy. That's what took place when President Roosevelt signed the GI Bill, which helped educate a generation. And ushered in an era of unprecedented prosperity. That was the foundation for the American middle class. And that's why, at the start of my administration, I set a goal for America, by 2020. This nation will once again have the highest proportion of college graduates in the world. We used to have that. We're going to have it again. And we've begun to take historic steps to achieve this goal. Already we've increased Pell Grants by $500. We've created a $2,500 tax credit for 4 years of college tuition. We've simplified student aid applications and ensured that aid is not based on the income. Of a job that you just lost. A new GI Bill of Rights for the 21st century is beginning to help soldiers coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan to begin a new life in a new economy. And the recovery plan has helped close state budget shortfalls which put enormous pressure on public universities and community colleges at the same time, making historic investments in school libraries and classrooms and facilities all across America. So we've already taken some steps that are building the foundation for a 21st century education system here in America. One that will allow us to compete with China and India and everybody else all around the world. But today I'm announcing the most significant down payment yet on reaching the goal of having the highest college graduation rate of any nation in the world. We're going to achieve this in the next 10 years. And it's called the American Graduation Initiative. It will reform and strengthen community colleges like this one from coast to coast so they Get the resources that students and schools need and the results workers and businesses demand. Through this plan, we seek to help an additional 5 million Americans. Earn degrees and certificates in the next decade. 5 million. Not since the passage of the original GI Bill and the work of President Truman's Commission on Hire. Education, which helped to double the number of community colleges and increase by 7-fold enrollment. In those colleges have we taken such a historic step on behalf of community colleges in America. And let me be clear, we pay for this plan. This isn't adding to the deficit. We're paying for this plan by ending the wasteful subsidies we currently provide to banks and private lenders for student loans. That will save tens of billions of dollars over the next 10 years. Instead of lining the pockets of special interests. It's time this money went towards the interests of higher education in America. That's what my administration is committed to doing. Now, I know that for a long time there have been politicians who have spoken of training as a silver bullet and college as a cure-all. It's not, and we know that. I can't tell you how many workers who've been laid off. You talk to them about training and they say, training for what? So I understand the frustrations that a lot of people have. Especially if the training is not well designed for the specific jobs that are being created out there. But we know that in the coming years, jobs requiring at least an associate degree are projected to grow twice as fast as jobs requiring no college experience. We will not fill those jobs or even keep those jobs here in America without the training offered by community colleges. That's why I want to applaud Governor Granholm for the No Worker Left Behind program. It's providing up to 2 years' worth of free tuition at community colleges and universities across the state. The rest of the country should learn from the effort. This is training to become a medical technician, or a health IT worker, or a lab specialist, or a nurse. In fact, 59% of all new nurses come from community colleges. This is training to install solar panels and build those wind. Turbines we were talking about and develop a smarter electricity grid. And this is the kind of education that more and more Americans are using to improve their skills and broaden their horizons. Many young people are saving money by spending 2 years at community college before heading to a 4-year college. And more workers who have lost their jobs or fear losing a job are seeking an edge at schools like this one. At the same time, community colleges are under increasing pressure to cap enrollments. And scrap courses and cut costs as states and municipalities face budget shortfalls. And this is in addition to the challenges you face in the best of times. As these schools receive far less funding per student than typical 4-year colleges and universities. So community colleges are an undervalued asset in our country. Not only is that not right, it's not smart. That's why I've asked Dr. Jill Biden who happens to be a relation of the Vice President, Joe Biden, but who is also a community college educator for more than 16 years to promote community colleges and help us make community colleges stronger. And that's why we're putting in place this American Graduation Initiative. Let me describe for you the specifics of what we're going to do. Number 1, we will offer competitive grants, challenging community colleges to pursue innovative, results-oriented strategies in exchange for federal funding. We'll fund programs that connect students looking for jobs with businesses that are looking to hire. We'll challenge these schools to find new and better ways to help students catch up on the basics. Like math and science, that are essential to our competitiveness. We'll put colleges and employers together to create programs that match curricula in the classroom with the needs of the boardroom. There are all kinds of examples of what's possible. We've seen Cisco, for example, working with community colleges to prepare students and workers for jobs ranging from work in broadband to health IT. We know that the most successful community colleges are those that partner with the private sector. So we want to encourage more companies to work with schools to build these type of relationships. That way, when somebody goes through a training program, they know that there's a job at the end of that training. We'll also create a new research center with a simple mission, to measure what works and what doesn't. All too often, we don't know what happens when somebody walks out of a classroom. and onto the factory floor or into the library or the laboratory or the office. And that means businesses often can't be sure what a degree is really worth. And schools themselves don't have the facts to make informed choices. About which programs achieve results and which programs don't. And this is important, not just for businesses and colleges, but for students and workers, as well. If a parent is going to spend time in the classroom and away from his or her family, especially after a long day at work, that degree really has to mean something.